You know the signs of a meltdown impending or an eruption about to occur because of frustration with someone in your family and your loved ones. But do you know the signs of when you're reaching your limit? If there was an engine light for your life that said self-care and it was flashing big and loud, what would be the indicators, the signs that you need to take care of yourself? Well, we're going to chat about that today for you to be aware of when that light is flashing saying it's time to take care of you.
Hey friend, do the daily demands of family life leave little time for self-care? Are you losing yourself in the process of caring for others? Are you ready to make self-care and healthy boundaries a natural part of your day while embracing your roles as a wife and mom? Well, I'm so glad you're here. I'm Christina, married 17 years to a neurodiverse man, mom of 3 neurodiverse kids, and many more roles. Welcome to the Moms and Neurodiverse Families podcast. Get ready to begin your self-care journey. Grab your planner and listen in as we take another small step towards a peaceful, healthier you.
One day I was asked, well, how are you doing? How is life treating you? And at that moment, I didn't give the customary response that I had been used to giving to cover up all the difficulty and chaos that I was feeling and also dealing with in my family. I actually thought about the question and realized I couldn't even truly answer it. I gave a quick answer to the person, but that bugged me thinking about, asked, how are you doing? How is life? And I struggled to be able to give an assessment on myself. Have you been there? When you have been asked that question, or you read an article, or you have this thought, and you try to self-reflect, and inside you feel this dullness, this quietness of lack of response, because you don't even want to go there and think about and assess how things are going in your life, because you're afraid what you're going to find underneath the hood. Or it's just so overwhelming to think about all that the quality of your life is at that moment. So it's better just to glide right over it. That question, I feel, is a litmus test. It's a gauge on the engine of your life. Those of you who've had older cars, you may have seen those gauge lights for your engine, and it actually would show a gauge of how much oil was in your engine. How the gas gauge is a good example of current day vehicles of showing how high or low the gas is. Also, that was way for the engine temperature for the vehicle. I grew up having used lots of different gauges on our cars. And as time has moved along, we have what my dad would call these dummy lights. And basically, there was no gauge there except when something bad happened, as in super low in oil or the engine got way too hot, the light would pop on. It's like a dummy light, like, hello, big problem. But wouldn't it have been great before this light is flashing and telling you there is a major problem? Wouldn't it be great if we knew beforehand we were inching closer to a too hot engine or the oil level was getting too low? The same thing is for us. Do we know our self-care gauges? Do we know when we're getting dangerously close to an overheating engine? Our ability to function is getting dangerously to the point of not being able to function. This is an important question because I feel pretty certain that you are very aware most of the time when your spouse comes home from work, you know pretty much to a T what his emotional state is from work and his ability to engage and be part of the family. You know, with your kids, as they walk into a room, you can see like, oh, there's a storm brewing. In fact, if you had a radar, be like, oh, yep, I see there's going to be some storm clouds in the next hour or so. But you spend so much time focusing on everyone else, looking at their gauges, where are they at, that we no longer listen to our own gauges. And our gauges could be screaming, telling us there are problems going on, but we are not looking or listening. Or because of survival, we have decided just not to think about it, not to look at it, because we're focusing on what seems to be the biggest concern, the meltdowns and the issues of navigating in life with a neurodiverse family. That is the focus. But when we focus so much on those outside gauges we're monitoring and we don't do it for ourselves, we create unintended consequences. And this is one of them. The first one is that we are exemplifying to our loved ones how to not take care of yourself. So for example, if I am running ragged and I'm tired and I'm exhausted and I'm sick, and if I am not taking the time to take the right supplements, be drinking the tea, to be sitting down and resting, if I'm not doing that, why would I expect my kids when they're older to take care of themselves when they're sick? I haven't showed it. Like now, maybe when they're younger, I take care of them when they're sick. And they may expect that maybe when they're growing up that, yes, someone's going to always take care of me. But they also, on the other hand, can watch me just push through that and think, oh, that's what you do when you're an adult. Yeah, when you're a kid, someone takes care of you. But as an adult, you just kind of keep going. I am not showing healthy self-care. And so and this is where I think for many people, for many women, this will be the point that will cause you to actually make a change. Oftentimes it won't be because of what we're feeling the need when we realize, oh, there's unintended cost to someone else. And you know what? If that is the starting point, that is great. No shame at all in that. Sometimes we need something to grab our attention. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, let's use airplanes as an example. If there was an aircraft and it was experiencing difficulty and have an emergency, where should the flight attendants be and where should the pilots be? Should the pilots be in the back part of the plane working with the flight attendants to make sure that all the passengers are buckled in and that they have everything according to policy and procedure? No, their job is to be up front and they are monitoring the situation. They're trying to rectify it. They're trying to bring the plane down as safely as possible. When we do not take care of our self-care, we are getting out of the pilot seat and we are going back into the cabin, and that plane is going to crash because we are not doing the role. Yes, our job is to oversee the care of the passengers, but when we stop taking care of ourselves, we are going to crash and burn. And then what happens to our family? That's obviously not what we want to happen. So those are just two reasons there why we need to be taking care of ourselves. So let me give you some, what I have perceived as indicators in myself, but also in other women around me who are in neurodiverse families. And I want you to think about what are the indicators for your life that warning, we are close to engine failure. We are close to having a major issue, Houston. And I'm going to use the 4 categories I have for self-care in the planner I'll be releasing. And the 4 categories is mind, health, community, and enjoy. So for mind, warning signs are you haven't been smiling, like hardly at all. Your mind rarely has a peaceful moment, as in if you're sitting down or standing outside, your thoughts are always racing. And they may even be in conflict with each other. And oftentimes your thoughts are negative towards yourself, or maybe they're negative towards someone else. So your mind is not at peace. Also, your mind can be at such a point of what Dr. Jim Wilder calls enemy mode, that you are snapping at people when you talk to them. That's an example, like for our minds, that those are indicators that something is not going well and we need to do some self-care. Now, second one, health. Then this one is a little bit more sneaky at first. It can be digestion, that you realize that, not trying to be too gross here, but you burp and it's about 3 hours after lunch, maybe 4. And you're like, yeah, that nothing has digested. I can tell that's the same as when I first ate, how it feels. Or when you use a restroom, you're like, and again, not trying to be too gross, but information is important. You realize like there's food when I look down in the toilet. Like my body did not break down that food when it went through a system. That is a sign of your body is at stress, and that's a warning sign. Also, there's other things that happen later on, which can be like losing hair. That can often happen, whether it's a thyroid issue. There can be weight issues, as in weight loss or weight gain. There can be edema, a swelling that happens in your body that you're not able to release fluids. Sleep issues, having insomnia, or you're unable to get to sleep. It takes you an hour and a half to fall asleep. And I used to have that issue a long time ago until I've made some radical changes. So third category, community. And community is friends, but also it's support groups. It's the people where you belong. And it may be small or it could be a big community. It all depends upon your network. But these are some signs that self-care warning light. One, you're avoiding people. The thought of you trying to explain like how life is going or how you're doing or the questions you might get, it just seems so much that you don't even I don't even want to talk to people. You're not answering phone calls or text messages, or you're canceling out in events. And there are times, don't get me wrong, there are times when, yes, we are at our limit and we need to cancel an event so we can take time and rest. We realize we had too much planned, and that is great. But when we are consistently avoiding people, avoiding community, avoiding safe authenticity, and what I mean by that is you're authentically sharing and it's received in a way that is respectful for you and it's not judging. I don't think we should be authentic and sharing with everyone, because I know there are people who will actually say damaging comments to us instead of being a safe listening spot. So you're avoiding people. Or maybe you aren't avoiding people, but you are avoiding discussing your life. You don't even know how to process what's going on in life with all the challenges of your neurodiverse family. Now, again, I don't think that we should share with everyone in our network, in our communities, about how life is going for us. Sometimes there are some people who maybe they're a connection because of a hobby that you do, and that's great. But there's some parts of your life, it may not be wise to share because they do not have the capacity nor the background to understand the complexities of our lives. So there is that nuance. But if it is a place where you know the person is open and understanding, and if you are just not wanting to share, that should be a warning sign to you. Now, the last category is enjoy. And enjoy, these are things that you do, often hobbies, but it's something where when you are in that activity, you smile or you feel this peace, there's this contentment, there's this filling up of your reservoir. And what you enjoy, it can range greatly. It can be rock climbing, it could be gardening, it can be painting, it can be bowling. I mean, this is a very wide gamut, and this is why I love the system that I have. But when you stop doing things that you enjoy, if you have been doing it and then you stop and you make this excuse of like, well, I'll start it again when life gets better, or really, that's not that important. I mean, when you look at all the needs I have in my family, that can go. That should be a warning sign. Now, can we spend all of our time on it? No. If a person's single, the amount of time they can spend on hobbies is very different than if someone is married with kids. So that is a difference. However, when we completely don't do anything with it, that is a warning sign. Also, when you see, maybe you have a pair of skis, or maybe it's the gardening gloves and your little shovel, or it's your bike, or maybe it's your paintbrush, whatever it is that represents that hobby, you see it and you feel frustration because you really want to spend time in what you enjoy, but it just seems not possible to spend time in it. That is a sign. That's another warning light there saying, hey, there's a problem. So your homework is be aware of what those things are, and then find a way to be monitoring that. We'll talk next time about what do you do when I know my warning light is. It's flashing. I need a quick plan to figure out how to get myself out of the red zone in my gauge and bring me back down to the green zone where things are calmer. So we will chat about that next time.
Hey, thank you for joining me today. I pray this episode gave you encouragement to take one small step. If so, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts to help other women find this show. By the way, if you're loving this conversation and want more encouragement like this, join my email list at bit.ly/myselfcare. That is bit.ly/myselfcare. I have a planner launching soon that will help you put all this into action in your own life. I look forward to chatting with you again next week for another episode.